The 2012 Bridge Cape Pioneer Trek, proudly brought to you by Bridge. Stage 2 from Carlersdorp to the top of Swartberg Pass was a day of great mountain biking as they traversed the tracks and trails through many game reserves and wonderful farmlands. Third place Westphal Columbia were the day's biggest losers in the race. A broken hanger cost Nico Bell and Javi Combrink 12 minutes and any chance of dicing it out on the pass for the record R100,000 prize. That honour fell to the preeminent South African team Kevin Evans and David George of Nedbank 360 Life, who started the climb with a 4-minute lead over KangoMTB.com and with an exhibition of sublime climbing skill extended it to over 7 minutes by the time they crossed the line in the mist and cold to ensure they retained the race leader's yellow jersey ahead of Swanepoel and Beerkus and Westphal Columbia's Combrink and Bell. While the weary riders rested their legs on the Swartberg High School rugby fields, the dedicated and efficient dryland support crew were hard at work breaking down the infrastructure of the camp and loading up trucks for an early start to De Rust. The rains came overnight, but not everyone was sleeping.
It's awesome because every day you get the opportunity to pack out your whole bag and pack everything back again, and then just to remember shit you forgot something and then pack everything out again.
I'm just waiting for the lady to get back from the pharmacy to fill a script for me. I picked up a little bit of a sore throat that I'm hoping won't get any worse than what it already is. And if I can get that medication in now and hopefully have a good night's sleep, I'll be good to ride tomorrow.
Riders in the start chute at the start of stage number 3 of the Bridge Cape Pioneer Trek. Today they'll ride 109 kilometers from Prince Albert into the Groot Karoo, a little bit flat, but there are some stinging climbs and great single track before Meyringspoort, and then to the finish at De Rust. Kevin Evans and David George hold a handy lead. The racing could get interesting behind them. After the leg-burning climb to the finish of stage 3, there were some stiff muscles carrying bags to the trucks in the morning.
I was a bit broken yesterday, so but yeah, look, you have to carry on, eh? So no, looking forward. Hopefully the legs will come back. The oak had stolen, must just bring it back.
Well, quite tired legs, but I hope it will be fine.
I'm riding with Carolyn Smith, my fiance. She was the one who took the fall yesterday. And but she's tough, and we managed to stitch her up on the road and then get in last night quite late.
Well, yeah, the medics did a great job, Carolyn. Unfortunate. How did it happen?
It was actually not even a very technical section, quite a flat section, and I hit a rock and went over the front of my handlebars.
Well, I think, now we find ourselves in a really fortunate position that we've got, a nice buffer on second and third, and for us now, we've taken plenty out of this race already, and we're going to just sit back and watch the other guys fight it out and let them take the glory in the stages, and we just need to finish safely and somewhere find those 5 points that we need to secure our prize from yesterday, but I don't think that'll be a problem.
Unlike previous editions of this race, the riders will head away from the mountains and into the Groot Karoo. A flat, fast section followed by climb up a typical Karoo Tafelkoppie. Passing by Klaastroom, the riders head back towards the mountains, but instead of going over, they're treated to a trip down the iconic Meyringspoort before finishing in the shadow of the beautiful NG Kerk in De Rust. Having won the Queen Stage on the Swartberg Pass, Evans and George are in line for a massive payday of 100,000 Rand put up by Bridge. However, they can only claim the prize once they accumulate a minimum of 35 points, according to a system that rewards each stage winner with 10 points down to 10th place, who will receive 1 point. A minimum of 35 qualifies teams for the Stage 3 bonus. Needless to say, they'll have to finish the race, all of which promotes consistent riding and keeps the interest right up there to the final few kilometres in Oudtshoorn on Saturday's final stage. They rolled away from beautiful Prince Albert, warm memories after a third visit for the Bridge Cape Pioneer Trek. The flat, smooth dirt roads of the Groot Karoo tempted the roadies into an early attack, and former top European road racer René Hasselbacher and his Azran cycling teammate Nizam Issa pinned their ears back. Ex-SA Vets road race champion Jaco Pereira and Iko Skitter, Bridge Neisner Cycle World, soon joined the pair. The main bunch for the yellow jersey team and their closest rivals at the sharp end were content to keep a comfortable pace. The quartet up front managed to open a gap of 5 minutes at best as Hasselbacher, a German who earned a living with, amongst others, the Gerolsteiner team and now lives in Cape Town, drove the pace hard. While they kept their heads down, many in the big pack behind them used the opportunity to enjoy the change in landscape and vegetation of the Groot Karoo. More examples of just how gloriously beautiful this country is. Evans and George took a 10.5-minute lead over Bierkes and Swanepoel into the stage in the overall standings. Mixed leaders Max Friedrich and Nadine Reeder were looking to build on their 13-minute advantage over Sturneman and Songen, and Ishan Stopforth and Catherine Williamson had close on 20 minutes in hand over Yolandi de Villiers and Yolande Speedy. But as all mountain bikers will tell you, anything can and very often does happen to upset your best laid plans. After around 30 k's, the pack hauled in the brake and immediately set about breaking up the main pack with a hectic tempo set by Matthijs Bierkes. The roadies would soon be spat out the back of this group. Also known as the Coupe, this vast, flat, dry region of the Groot Karoo stretches from Beaufort down to Robertson. With an average rainfall of less than 200 millimetres, water is in short supply in this harsh, often desolate land. Yet, upon close inspection, there's an abundance of life, sparse, stunted vegetation, as well as game like the magnificent Eland, Kudu and Gemsbok roam the vast open plains. The vast spaces appear inhospitable to all but the most hardy. Sheep farms the size of small European countries produce wool, mutton and lamb for the nation. Endless dead straight roads head to the ends of the earth, it seems, or to your nearest neighbour. The race dictators are now in charge up front. Their hot pace whittled away the size of the bunch. Masters leaders Barty Bucher and Ernest Engeli push hard. And the mixed race was already close, Sturneman and Songen just ahead of the leaders Friedrich and Reeder. Another race casualty was Hannes Hannekom, who had to withdraw on medical grounds due to a fever. Brother Saki was in the thick of things on the front of the main bunch. Such was the pace that each time the track went up a small incline, there was a fracture. Everyone was riding on the limit to ensure they stayed with the group. A little clash, Neville Cragg and Cameron Wills the victims. Yolande Speedy looking as strong as ever. Yolandi de Villiers very at home in these conditions, and they had managed to open a small gap on Ishan Stopforth and Catherine Williamson, the overall leaders. The broad expanses of the Groot Karoo offer so many options for races of this nature, and Dryland's route planners had managed to find a near-perfect mix from both riding and scenic perspectives. Timo Cooper, the 21-year-old leader of the solo category, sitting on the back of the main bunch. A welcome oasis, the first water point hosted on the beautiful Groot Sleutelfontein game farm. Keeping the rhythm, not many of the leaders stopped here. Further back in the field, plenty of takers. Britain's Catherine Williamson, a top 20 finisher at the Marathon Worlds 10 days ago in good form. Her partner Ishan Stopforth perhaps not quite as strong on the day. And they were doing the chasing because Speedy and de Villiers were steadily opening up a significant lead over the overall women's race leaders. The day's big climb came between water points 1 and 2 at around the 55 kilometre mark. Typical of the terrain, rough and rutted, it would cause all sorts of problems for so many of the teams. Already Beerkus and Swanepoel keeping the pace up front with Evans and George on their wheels. Behind them, the race was stringing out. Javi Combrink trying to pick a line. Beerkus gets it wrong, and George cruises through. And Mr. Reliable Kevin Evans knows exactly what line to pick. Heinz Zorweg, the solo rider, trying to keep pace with Timo Cooper. He was trying to get the rhythm back. The 21-year-old leading the solo category. Veteran racer Nico Fitzenmeyer just staying on the wheel of Rob Sim, his teammate. George and Evans, well, just had to keep pace with their closest rivals, Beerkus and Swanepoel, to ensure they maintained the hold on the yellow jersey. And they were doing just that. Swanepoel, such a skilled rider and so experienced. And a great combination with young Matthijs Beerkus forming here. These two had ridden in the United States against each other, but formed a great friendship. Beerkus invited Swanepoel to come and ride the race with him. And they're doing a fantastic job here. The descent down the other side, breakneck speed, but also high risk. Swanepoel nearly gets the corner wrong. Beerkus is in control up front. And with him, Evans and George, and they had separated themselves from the rest of the chasers. Difficult to get a real appreciation of just how fast these riders are going, and the skill level, absolutely sublime. Behind them, Combrink and Bell were involved in a tight tussle. They also had company because Asren Cycling's Chris Wallater and Oliver Minnick were in the mix. Odd trouble for the two young Cape Townians. A hole in the back tyre for Ollie Munnik, and he had to plug that, and precious time lost just when they were catching Westphal Columbia. And also big trouble for Cube Network 1, Misha de Vries and Willem van Heert in the veterans category, leaking time. It was happening all over the place. Their main rivals, Rob Sim and Nico Fitzenmeyer. Rob Sim had dented his rear wheel and big repairs needed. They were to lose 6 minutes on the day. Westphal Columbia's Nico Bell and Javi Combrink punctures on the first 3 days, trying to make amends and make up ground. Here are the men chasing Evans and George, and this will be costly for Beerkus and Swanepoel, the Kango MTB pair having to plug a puncture in Beerkus's rear wheel. And away they went, flying the coupe were Evans and George, as well as Heinz Zorweg, the solo rider, as they headed towards the second water point. And Javi Combrink's troubles a little more than just a puncture. His bike mechanic having to replace the rear chainring. And that would be costly. They would lose almost 4 minutes at the water point. Cube Nutswerk 1, de Vries and Van Heert from the Netherlands roll into the water point. Thunder rolling around the mountains of the Swartberg. The weather was changing, but the order up front wasn't, as they headed into the glorious Meyringspoort. Constructed in 1858, there are 17 causeways that have to be crossed, and they have wonderful names: Wasgat, Opmerkingsdrif, Tereboon, and Rooi Uitspanning. 6 riders in the group, 2 teams and 2 solo riders. Beerkus and Swanepoel driving the pace on the front. Timo Cooper and Heinz Zorweg battling it out for the solo win, and the 2 race leaders, Evans and George, content to sit on the back and watch the others battle it out for the race victory. Darkening skies through Meyringspoort. They were going to get home, perhaps just ahead of the rain. The hamlet of De Rist playing host to a stage once again and welcoming the riders up this long drag, an uphill sprint, and it was Ben Meld Swanepoel who took the onus to drive it for home, and he was to get across the line with Timo Cooper, the solo rider, behind him, and Matthijs Beerkus ensuring that KangoMTB.com would get the stage win ahead of Evans and George of Nedbank 360 Live, with Heinz Zorweg, the second solo rider across the line. A great performance by Swanepoel and Beerkus.
Yeah, I think up the rocky climb, Matthijs and I got a little bit of a gap, and then there were a lot of mechanicals on the downhills. A lot of guys punctured. We also punctured and just put in a quick plug. And then after that, it was pretty steady riding. I mean, I couldn't go much faster anyway. I was having to hold back Matthijs quite a bit. And then, yeah, I just kept it rolling, and through Meyringspoort, we had one team with us and a couple of solo guys. Matthijs just went to the front and paced the whole way into town, and I had to make a sprint after that, and it worked out pretty well.
Not a great day for Robert Daniel Momsen's Simon Fitzenmeyer. Their lead cut to 1 minute and 9 seconds. Katrin Sturneman and Sandro Sonchen of BH Highbike Tigers took the win in the mixed, and they have the overall lead as well by 1 minute and 7 seconds. Nadine Reeder had 3 punctures on a wretched day for them. The women's race was won by Yolande Speedy and Yolandi de Villiers, but they didn't take the overall lead just yet. But Ishan Stopforth and Catherine Williamson endured a mighty tough day and crossed the line some very tired ladies. Bjerkes and Swanepoel made up 7 seconds. They trailed by 10.52. Combrink and Bell now 23 minutes and 15 seconds adrift of Evans and George. Bridge Bizhub ladies have a 12-minute 25-second lead over Klein Karoo Chicks, and BH Highbike Tigers 107 on Friedrich and Reeder. Stage 4 takes the riders from De Rist to Louvain Game Farm. It's only 64 kilometres. However, there is plenty of climbing to do as they head into the glorious Kamanasi. The 2012 Bridge Cape Pioneer Trek, proudly brought to you by Bridge.